Hello, and welcome to episode 45 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, and it's also a celebration of all the things Nintendo. With me this week to talk about jets, forces, and Geminis, so far is Harrison. Sean might be joining us later. We don't know.
I'm here.
I think
He's here. Wow. Right at the
Sean's here.
wire.
Look at the timing, huh? That's
Yeah.
all fancy.
I mean, I was just trash talking you for like 20 minutes, but
It's okay. I understand.
you'll hear that part when the episode goes up. So yeah, awesome. Let's talk about some Nintendo, boys. What's been going on in Nintendo this week?
Mario Wonder has taken a back seat until Mario RPG is done, and How
far are you?
We didn't do any kind of we didn't talk before hitting record about how much we wanted to talk about this. I'll
talk about Mario RPG all night.
I just got the 6th star.
Oh, wow.
So
you're a little further than me.
So yeah, I imagine that I still have more to go than I expected, but just some overall thoughts. I think the scaling of the game feels really good. The Unity engine on it is great. I think that the art style of this game and everything is just awesome. I think it's an awesome remake. I have lots of thoughts on this game, but I'll digress and say that as far as an overall game goes, I like it, and I think I'm definitely going to play it again and perhaps go back and play the first one. But as far as RPG style goes, it's not totally for me. There's just some I'll use gaming mechanics. I'll use that again.
You mean the genre in general?
Yeah, it's in the genre in general.
Not just this game. Okay.
I would say this is this is an awesome game. If I were to rank it out of 10, I would say 8 or 9. But I would just say, as far as the RPG genre goes, or the turn-based genre, I think there's some other games that I might prefer more, and that has nothing to do with how good this game is. I think it's awesome.
Well, you mentioned going back and playing the original, and honestly, I was thinking while playing this, I honestly think I'm going to have a hard time going back and playing the original, even though it's one of my favorite games of all time. Might be the favorite game of all time. Now playing this, I've gotten so used to all the updates and the quality of life adjustments they've made. This might be my definitive version now. I don't think any of the changes. Yeah, I don't think any of the changes. Wow. There is stuff I don't like in there, but the stuff I do like the team attacks, I'm not going to be able to go back to not having those. Or even just seeing a gauge, even just seeing it keep track of how many timed hits you got in a row. Something like that. I'm like, I don't want to not have that anymore. So yeah, they did a great job improving a lot of stuff. My only critiques are little stuff. For example, I still mess up when you use your special in battle. You press Y. Mm-hmm. And then you press A to select whatever move you want to do. In the original game, each thing was basically locked to that button. So to use a special, you'd hit Y and then you'd hit Y again. Right. And to use an item, you'd hit X and then you'd hit X again. So the fact that it's X and then A now really throws me off all the time. But apparently I kind of get why they made the change, because I've watched so many Let's Plays of the original, and if it's somebody who didn't grow up with the original, every time they comment on that, how do I use a special? How do I use it? Oh, you have to hit Y twice. So I get why they changed it.
So I've been slacking. I've installed it, but that's it. It's been a crazy week at work, so I haven't really had time to game at all.
It reminds me of the Link's Awakening remake, which is another game where I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever go back and play the Game Boy version. We'll see. Like, I liked the music in the Game Boy version more, but that's about
Hmm.
it. I wish this is what Square should have done instead of re-releasing another 16-bit version of Final Fantasy VI. I was thinking about this week. Final Fantasy VI is on like every list ever of the greatest
Hmm.
games of all time. People go nuts for Final Fantasy VI. It's like, goated, as the kids say. Uh, why have they never done anything other than re-release it in 16 bits? Like even Final Fantasy 3, they did that 3DS version where they like updated and I think they did that for 4 as well.
So do you
But
want
yeah,
it
they've
in?
never done like a remake of 6.
So you want it more in this style, or do you want it like what they're doing with Dragon Quest III and doing like the Octopath style?
That would be nice too. Just like anything that's not giving us a 5th version that is just 16-bit art style and you updated the text
Hmm.
and stuff like that, and you changed a little bit of the mechanics, like how much stuff cost at stores and how much experience points you get here and there. Like that's all
Hmm.
they've really changed for FF6. Give us like a real, just like this is, from the ground up remake, redesign, give it its own art style, because obviously this art style wouldn't work,
Right.
but give it its own art style and make it. I mean, you're doing it with Final Fantasy VII. You're doing that whole reimagining thing, and I'm not even talking about going that crazy. Just a I don't know, kind of like I said, like they did with Final Fantasy 3 on the 3DS. They remade it with all 3D environments and 3D character models and really updated it.
So is it safe to say that the Mario RPG remake's more what you had hoped the Final Fantasy VII remake had been?
Yes, because it's the story is almost exact, except they changed a few names here
Yeah,
and
I
there.
saw that. Why
Some
did
I
they
don't
change?
understand why.
Yeah, why did they
Like
change Frog Fuchsius?
I don't know why
Like,
they changed Frog Fuchsius. Like I can't see anyone being offended by that. They changed Mac, um, which
they
I
changed
don't think
Mac?
Mac. Yeah, I guess Mac is offensive. I don't think they
Okay.
were all
Frog
for offensive reasons, but
Frog Fuchsius is a bit not it's not so good. Yeah, but
um,
but
Psychopath, they changed that. That's it's not Psychopath anymore, which never made sense to me to begin with. For a
Mm,
name that doesn't describe that move. Psychopath makes it sound like it's an attack, and to tell you the truth, that's one of the memories I have of the first time playing Mario RPG. Is my friend Nick and I used to think when you'd use Psychopath and the number would come up, we thought we were damaging the enemy for that much because
oh yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
Psychopath. It sounds like it's an attack, but what it
Yep.
does is show you the enemy's HP.
uh, I I'm having a great time with it. I have not skipped any like every triple move cutscene is like better than the last one. Uh, I think
Yeah,
all of
it
the
gives me a
over
reason to change up my party too, because
yeah
I pretty much always just use the Mario Bowser Peach party, which is still the strongest party, by the way. Like Peach is still overpowered. Her group hug ability, like they should there should be I okay, so this is another critique which the entire internet has said. There
Hmm.
really should be a hard mode. And the
Yeah, I've heard
changes,
that the game's almost easier now.
it's not even that that's the change I would make in the hard mode. Like obviously hard mode you'd give the enemies more hit points or whatever, but change
Hmm.
things like Peach's group hug move. Don't make that cure status elements too. Like it's too
Okay.
overpowered that it heals you and cures all the status aelements. Um
well,
But
I
stuff
think
you
it
like
should
that.
be
liking
like
the party switch whenever you want? You guys digging that at least?
I've never done it,
I've
but
never done it. I haven't done it yet.
I like that it exists, but I have never been in a situation where I'm like, oh, I should have Gino for this instead or something. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I've never done it, but I like that it's there as an option if I go into the battle with the wrong people by mistake.
So, is there a secret boss other than the Final Fantasy one? Because I keep seeing different
I
things.
I don't know. I don't think so. I know you can rematch the bosses like on a harder difficulty,
Yeah.
but like other than that, I don't think there's another added boss. But I could be wrong because, like I said, I'm a little bit further back than Harrison. I haven't had a lot of time this week. I'm about 10 hours in. 10 hours brought me to Nimbus Land up in the clouds. So I'm like about to get that 6 star. I'm just a little bit behind where he is.
So Harrison, just curious because you play a lot of sim games and stuff. You liking the writing?
The writing.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
writing, the
way the game is
jokes.
written, because
Oh,
it's got personality.
oh yeah. Well, that was actually my last bullet point on here. Like my problem is that like there's some of my favorite RPGs I've played are like the past few years are admittedly like just way too long. Like we've talked
Mm-hmm.
about like the game Eastward on here. Eastward is incredible, but like the dialogue sometimes is like you feel like you need a turbo button sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like okay, I get it, but I think so far, and I'm interested to see how I feel at the end. But uh, everything has flowed really nicely. Like there hasn't been a point where I've thought like I'm just like skipping ahead and
Mm-hmm.
not paying attention. Like I feel like everything is like getting me to like one thing to another. Um, Maybe on the other side, it's a little bit too linear. Like it's
Okay.
again, it's like
It's
perhaps I like an
definitely
art.
designed to be somebody's like first RPG
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly,
So like I think
exactly.
that's why it's so linear. Yeah.
And there's no, and again, like there's no like problem with that. Um, it's just something that I noticed while playing it. But I've been thinking about so I I've been wanting to write an online course like for a long time now. I've been wanting to like do some online course with kids, some like a ESL English second language course
Mm-hmm.
surrounding video games, and I've thought like this one might be good just for like the amount of vocabulary in it, and that the fact that like I think a lot of this is supposed to be meant for younger people as well.
Yep.
They have some fake words or like the "Where's Peach" or something like that, or but
Yep.
I thought like I'm sure there's like scripts to this game like already out there on the internet, and
They took Bruce Lee out of the script in the remake. That's another change they make
yeah.
that I thought
Interesting.
was
Is
interesting.
that
But
just considered a
But
reference that's not known?
they probably I don't
That's
know.
weird.
I don't know if they were worried about being sued by the Bruce Lee estate if they put it in the first time. Yeah, it's probably just like, kids today don't even know who Bruce Lee is.
That's weird.
yeah,
It is
uh,
weird. I mean, it's kind of weird that our generation even knew who he was. We were like a full we had, I guess, his son, but like we were even a full generation removed from Bruce Lee by the time we were kids,
Yeah,
and
that's
his
true. That's
legend was
true.
still living on.
he's a. I mean, he's like a meme. Like my generation didn't grow up with Chuck Norris. I mean,
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
not. I mean, not really. I mean, well, I should say this, and this kind of goes along with another point I've had about this game this week is that like nobody that I knew watched like anything Chuck Norris. Like
Yeah.
they did it. It was just a meme to them. The same way that like I grew up as a fan of like Genesis and Phil Collins because that was my dad's like favorite band like my dad's favorite band and favorite singer and favorite artist. But then like
Yeah.
Hangover came out and then he became like an internet meme. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
there's
Oh, you know what I did
there's
play? Now that I'm thinking about it, um, I did dive into the final Mario Kart DLC finally.
and
I haven't played that Mario Kart game in like a year. How was it?
I mean, if you have it, even just because if you've got the online, you can get the bonus tracks for free. I think it was a better batch overall. I mean, there's maybe one or two tracks that didn't make it that didn't make sense, but I got the GameCube Donkey Kong Mountain. That one's fun. For whatever reason, I love every time they put one of the Super NES tracks in there. So there's a Bowser's Castle from that. That's cool. And then,
There's a few series where I feel like I missed the window and I'm just going to jump in the next one, and that's one of them. That and Animal Crossing. I'm like, I'll just jump in on the next one. I've got too much in my schedule right now anyway.
but yeah, I mean, I can finally do my crazy 90 something track 200cc tournament to see who actually is the best at Mario Kart. So that's the plan for some time over the holidays with the family.
Probably someone who's 7 years old.
I would think so. It's funny though when I play that with my niece and nephew, they get so mad. It's like, look, this game hasn't changed much since '92. That's how long I've been playing it, so I can't like suddenly get bad at it out of the blue. So,
Sean doesn't let kids win.
oh,
How's
they
Funky
destroy
Kong?
me at like everything else. I did, I the character thing to me, it's cool that they've. I think there's almost 40 characters in that game now, but I don't
Ooh,
understand why
it's
they
becoming like
didn't.
Smash.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they didn't like add extra carts and stuff with each character. So that was just kind of weird to me. But no, I just stick with Donkey Kong. I haven't fiddled with anybody else because there's not really attributes and stuff. I mean, I guess there's a little bit, but I mean, not enough for me to desert my boy.
It's crazy too because like I played so, and you were there with me too. Growing up, I played so much Mario Kart. You would think like if I had told like 14-year-old Kevin, hey, someday you're going to be able to play this on the internet and you'll be able to do multiplayer whenever you want. And
Right.
now grown up Kevin is like, I don't even have any interest. But like I do Mario Party multiplayer online a lot. I do a few games. For some reason I just never do it for Mario Kart. I don't know why. And it's such a popular series. Like I guess they don't need me. That's my attitude. I'm like, they don't need me to support this. It's doing just fine.
So yeah, I don't know. I think for the price, $25 for essentially another game's worth of tracks. I mean, that's not too bad. So I thought it was a pretty good run overall. I mean, not a huge fan of the Mario Kart Tour tracks, but as I've said in the past, I think this was just more they could preserve them this way because I assume that game will shut down. So
Do you think they're going to name the next one Mario Kart 9 or do you think they'll
Is there a
jump to
next one?
10?
I keep
If there's a
hearing
next one.
rumors that
I've seen Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen that online. Nintendo considers Tour to be 9, like they've listed it in the list of official Mario Kart
Hmm.
games. So
well, I keep hearing
it,
rumors for the next one's title.
and what's that?
I'm trying to look it up because
Oh,
I've I
He's not going to
vaguely
tell us,
stored.
Kevin.
what do you think about the idea? Here's another Mario Kart discussion. So I've seen people on the internet debate the heck out of this, and I don't understand why it's so divisive. But what would you think about them adding other Nintendo characters like Zelda and all these, all basically Smash Brothering Mario Kart?
But
Because
they kind of
I
did
always
that
thought that would be a really cool idea.
because you can be Link and
Yeah, but I'm talking about like really doing it,
oh,
like
like
really
really
put
like
put put the ice climbers in there, put
Put
put Ness, put. I mean, not everyone has to be a Smash Brothers character, but these are just what's coming to me. Put
yeah,
Kirby
I
in
know what
there,
you're saying.
you
Like
know.
get
Yeah,
away from it being ninety
just
percent
because
Mario.
I don't know if you remember this. This is something we talked about in the Super Nintendo days, and we called it All Star Mario Kart. Was our idea for it, and now the internet is debating whether or not it should be a thing. I wouldn't have any problems with that. I'd think it'd be a welcome addition to have all of them in there.
Yeah, I can't find the title that supposedly was kicking around, but it didn't have 9
Is
in
it
it.
All Star Mario Kart?
No, but if it is, you should totally you and Nick should sue.
I'm sure I have that game we designed. We designed All Star Mario Kart Harrison when like 1997 or six, in a notebook. Like we made track layouts and we picked what characters we wanted in there. It was probably just basically the first Smash Brothers game. It was probably, I can't remember, but it was probably literally like Mario, Yoshi, Link, Kirby. But yeah, we designed different, what do you call them? The item block thing. We designed different stuff for that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And if I could connect the two games now, I mean, like I hope Mario RPG does well, and we can see some of these characters that
Yeah.
have been featured in this game, including some of these enemies and variants on enemies as well. I think that would be really cool. I think Mallow is awesome. Like
No, you like it,
Mallow
Mallow?
is so
Nice.
Mallow is so like he's in the Yoshi category, right, Kevin? Like, are there people out there that's like Mallow's horrible?
I
Yes,
haven't ever seen
there are.
anyone. Oh, you?
There
Well,
are.
I mean, I guess there's gonna be that for everybody, but I don't see it a lot. I
It's
definitely see
always
the people
Gino
saying
is
Gino
so
for
much better.
Smash, but I don't see anyone putting Mallow down.
I've seen it a couple
I'm having
times where they're like, "Oh, he's not that great." I'm like, I think
Well,
he
he is a
might be better than.
crybaby.
Yeah, but
he
I
he
feel
he,
like
he
as a
does cry.
character, he's better than Gino. He has more personality than Gino,
He for sure has more of a story.
and
Gino's
that
story is just basically like, I was a star being that took
Yeah,
over a toy doll, and I'm here to help. The end.
and that's fine. And that's fine. I'm having a hard time playing as Gino. Like, I cannot
yeah,
hit
Oh, you
that
should have seen
combo.
the Super Nintendo version. Until this version, I never understood how to do Gino's special moves. This game explains it so much better.
Oh,
Whereas the Super Nintendo version, you have no way of knowing if you're doing it correctly. It doesn't
right.
cue you in
oh,
at all. Same thing
oh,
for
okay,
Bowser's attacks where it has you rotate the control pad. On the Super
sure.
Nintendo one, I'm like, I'm not sure if I input that correctly. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah,
so that's another like quality of life.
Exactly, yeah. It gives you
Okay,
the
so
little gauge that shows it that you're doing it correctly.
I'm
very
looking
cool.
forward to jumping back in it because for me, it will be my third time playing it, but it will be the first time I've beaten it. So
So here's what the quality of life was. So for Gino, when you use the Gino beam and a few of his other attacks, it would always say like hold Y to charge, and I think
yeah,
it might have even said let go at the last second. But when you let go at the last second, it did fill the stars up, but then no matter when you let go, the stars the animation they like went down, and to me visually it always implied that you were doing the move wrong.
yeah,
But now that I've done it on here, I'm like, oh, they just used a bad animation for that. I was doing it right. It just looked like I was doing it wrong the way they animated it. So, um, and then this version has like a thing that comes up that says perfect, which it did not
oh, all
have
right,
in the Super Nintendo version.
Hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm
the
looking forward
perfect
to
wasn't
jumping in
there, and the visual was worse.
because I played a little bit of Mario Wonder. I'm trying to finish the levels. I didn't realize most of the levels I have are just badge challenges. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they got that. They got a bunch of those at the end there, especially in that lava area. Oh my god, I can't wait to. I got to write like a whole thing on Wonder. I have so many thoughts. That Halloween area is incredible. Such a good game.
Yeah.
Which it's funny because like I haven't seen many people talk about that Halloween level. I thought that was such a standout, and I've seen more people talk about like the lava area or the desert. People thought it was really cool that the levels were like mirages. I've seen that come up a lot, but never the Halloween level.
That's interesting, and I think that's like I've been seeing an overall interesting pattern in like especially in like Nintendo games this year, and it's
Hmm.
something that like I saw Austin John he posted about it on Twitter. he posted a walkthrough Mario RPG video. And he said that it's his it's his worst performing video, or like worst viewer one uh, in this past year. And I really think it's just because uh, like games like Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
perhaps even like Mario RPG, uh, people are just taking time to play and
Yep.
not watch or consume, because like when Tears of the Kingdom came out, no one was watching content on it. Like all
I'm
numbers were down on Twitch, on YouTube,
I
everywhere.
still haven't finished it. I got about halfway in. I think I'm gonna go back to it once I finish RPG, and I don't know if I'm gonna start a new file or try to pick up where I left off, because I feel like I'm like 60% done. But at the
I'm
same time, it's been so long since I played it, I kind of want to start over.
I'm at about 60 or 70 shrines. I can't remember. So I'm not start. I'll start over after I finish it. I feel like internally, I feel like I'm about ready. I really messed up. I burned myself out on Breath of the Wild, and then
Yeah.
I had that I had that realization. So I feel like I'm ready to jump
I'm
back
still
in.
playing Breath of the Wild. I think I've said this on here before, but my wife is always starting new files in Breath of the Wild, and I'm always doing the shrines for her. So I can do almost every shrine in that game from memory at this point.
Yeah.
And because she just likes running around the world collecting things and she loves upgrading the armor. That's like her favorite thing to do. But she doesn't like the shrines.
So
So
I don't
I
know if this
constantly
is
doing
in
those.
the news or rumors or anything, but I saw that Nintendo's get their Black Friday deals. Can we all agree it's ridiculous that Breath of the Wild, the extent of the savings on it is just that it's 40 now? It's been out 7 years. The new one is out. Make it a
Oh,
$20 game this year, for God's sakes. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nintendo, it's the Nintendo tax, as they say. People are starting to call it the Xbox tax, and I'm like, no, 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 no.
It's
Nintendo
a Nintendo
started that.
tax. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to they don't need to up those numbers or anything, though. I mean, they've sold a lot of that game, and I'm sure that I'm sure people like. I mean, I hate to say that I paid. I mean, I paid $30 to have Skyrim on Nintendo Switch, and I felt stupid
but you
pressing purchase
you
as
only
I was
paid
doing
the
that.
$30. You didn't pay 60. It's just, I don't know, it's goofy to me that the new one is out. You're getting $70 a pop on the new one. Why not
Yeah,
just make the first one 20 now instead of,
yeah,
oh, it's 40? That's a deal. It's like, no one's buying
yeah.
this at 40.
Or even 30, even
Yeah,
29.99.
yeah. Because, I mean, there's a
But
whole tier list, but I'm just like, that's the only game that stuck out to me where I'm like, why?
Yeah, but Black Friday, I am straight white knuckling Black Friday this year. I mean,
avoiding it,
it
doing
is
my backlog.
Oh,
I don't care what's on sale.
I'm not going to make it though. I mean, when I see games that are like 80% off, I'm like, like
Unless they shadow drop Majora's Mask, I mean, not Majora's Mask, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Unless they shadow drop those, I am done with new games for the foreseeable future. I'm doing all backlog.
I don't, man, that's great.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I, but I mean, I just I log on to my Steam yesterday, and like on my wish list,
Oh.
I'm scrolling, and it's like everything. 90% of the games I want are on sale. I'm not buying 90% of the games, but like I am gonna buy one or two to have like for sometime in the next 12 months. I think.
Well, while we're talking about new games, let's talk about that they're adding Jet Force Gemini to Nintendo Switch Online.
Which is
That's
great.
something worth bringing up.
That was
It is
really
great.
awesome.
I feel like that's going to shatter a lot of people's memories of that game, though, because
It might.
as somebody who played it within the last 5 years, I think, on my actual Nintendo 64, um, I feel like that's a game that people have on a pedestal and people remember it one way, and then they play
Mhm.
it and they're like, oh, I didn't remember it being like this. So it's still a good game. I'm not knocking it, but I think people have, let me just say, I think people have forgotten how many of those little teddy bears you have to collect, because there's so many that, and it's required. It's not like, oh, I'll go back and optionally collect them. Like, they are
Yeah.
required to collect like it might be over 200 of them, in order to make it all the way to the end of the game.
I'm excited to play it again because I'm curious how it holds up gameplay wise.
One thing I remember being a huge deal about that game in Nintendo Power and Game Pro and like whatever magazine was writing about it at the time, I don't know if it was the first game to do this, but they sure acted like it was. Is they wrote in like every article about it, about how like, okay, so usually in a third person shooter, a lot of times like your character can block your view if you get backed into a corner or something and you can't really see around your character. See, you might not even know what I'm talking about here because this is such an outdated concept, but put yourself back in the 1997 or whenever it came out. um, they were like, normally in third person shooters, your character model can get in the way of your vision, and that's a problem. So we have this solution where when the camera gets too close to you, the character goes transparent. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like that was like new at the time. And I don't know if they were the first game to do that, but like I said, it was in like every article about the game that happened. So that was like their technique they were showing off in that. Um, that, and I remember the first like images of the game had completely different character models, which is worth looking into because like they didn't test well, so they were like little kids, and people were like, this is too childish, so they aged the characters up. That's everything I know about Jet
So
Force Gemini. I'm
Harrison
looking
is
forward to playing it with my Nintendo 64 controller.
Harrison, is that one that's kind of would be new to you?
This one would be new to me, and this is one. This is a big surprise. I mean,
Well, let
this
me know if
is
it blows your mind when the character goes transparent.
yeah. I'm
It might.
I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised that like we're getting this game, and we're getting another N64 game, and we're getting another Rare game, and
Mm.
I think it's time to like speculate, like
Okay,
again,
here's
like
some
we're getting.
I'm glad you said that, Harrison.
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry I'm dominating the conversation,
go
but I
ahead.
have a lot. I have a lot to say about this. So, I'm glad you said speculation because it goes in with another news story from this week about in Japan, Nintendo introduced an 18 plus channel for their Nintendo Switch
Oh, I
Online.
saw
Oh,
that. Yeah,
I heard
yeah, I
about
saw
that.
that. Yep.
So
Which goes along with. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say it's for Jet Force Gemini. I think has an M rating over there or something. And obviously, and GoldenEye 007, they haven't gotten until they were able to get this channel. So a lot of
Interesting.
people are speculating that means Conker's Bad Fur Day is coming at some
Exactly.
point. I don't think it is. I don't. Let me put it this way. I don't think the two are related. It might be coming at some point, but GoldenEye, pretty sure was rated M here, and it went on our normal Switch Online. It didn't need an 18 plus channel for GoldenEye. So, uh, basically, I don't think just because they got this, it means Conquer is coming. It might
No,
still be coming, but I don't think this is related.
it's fun to speculate because it's like, okay, we got a Rare game on the service, and we have this new channel in Japan, and Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the M-rated game from Rare.
Oh no,
So I
GoldenEye's rated T for teen. I did not. Good thing I checked that. I did not know that.
so I just thought it was fun to just bring up, even though I don't think it's going to happen. But hey, rare games, like, can we get Sea of Thieves on the next Switch console? Like,
I don't
can
want
we
to.
get can we get Viva Pinata? Like,
I don't want to
there's
sound like I'm being super negative, but Conquer is another one that doesn't hold up as well as you remember it. Like it's again, not trying to be negative. It is still a good game, but it's also like I don't know. The jokes are so slow because of the limitations of the voice acting, and you don't remember that in your mind. You don't remember how awkwardly slow the voice acting is because it's a Nintendo 64 cartridge.
yeah. I mean,
Um, but yeah,
this is rare games. I mean, how about like Perfect Dark on the service? Like,
yeah, I hope so.
that would be. I mean, that would be incredible. I think that would
Banjo
be.
Tooie, why not? I'll
Yeah,
finally finish
Banjo.
that game.
Yeah, yeah. I think those would all be like really big, like Twitter days. I think people our age just have a lot of nostalgia for those games. But I mean, there's plenty of rare games I would like to see either on an online service, whether it's Switch Online or they
Yeah,
have, whatever they have in the future. I'm not totally convinced that like when this next system comes out, there's going to be just one Switch subscription service. But that's another bigger conversation for like
You
another
know what
time.
else is weird about Conquer before we move on from talking about it is because they had such backlash over how much there was to collect in Donkey Kong 64, and that was the game that came out before it. There was so much backlash and like there's too many collectibles, there's too much. They went too far in the other direction and Conquer's Bad Fur Day, there's only one collectible. You only collect cash. And it's still a good game, like I said, but it's weird because like normally in a rare collectathon game, you have a few different things like Banjo Kazooie. Yeah, you're getting the puzzle pieces, but you're also getting the Genos, whatever they're called.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're getting music notes. You know what I mean? They don't even have like a music note type thing in Conker's Bad Fur Day, which would be, I guess, the equivalent of like Mario's coins. Yeah, but yeah, they don't even have something like that. It is literally just do a task, get cash, move on to the next task, and there's nothing else to hunt for. Just something people don't usually talk about. Just bringing it up. Sorry if I brought the room down.
Oh, for God's
Very
sakes.
very surprised with this release, and
Yeah,
look forward
yeah.
to look forward to seeing the performance on it and seeing just how it compares to other like ROMs, like other emulation that's out there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Were you today years old when you realized it's called Jet Force Gemini because they're twins? Huh? Huh? Gemini?
I was, yeah.
Were you really?
I didn't realize that.
Never really thought about it too much. Never thought about it too hard.
This is another thing I've said on the podcast before, but that was one of those games that I went all in on, and I was like, this is gonna be my
Yep.
Star Trek. Like I'm gonna learn all of the lore for this
Mm.
universe. And then there was never another game.
Yep.
But I knew all the lore for a hot second there.
I forget, did that have
Um
co-op or no?
Go ahead.
Did Jet Force Gemini have
Didn't have
co-op?
co-op. It did have multiplayer. It had like everything
Okay.
on the Nintendo 64. It had a 4-person multiplayer with a few different modes. We played it a couple of times, but it was never anything that replaced the main games. It wasn't
So
like
apparently
phenomenal.
so good I've blocked it out. So,
I remember
because I
one
don't
level
remember it.
that yeah, I remember one level that I can't even describe. It was like foundations of buildings that you would hide in, and you were third person shooting at each other. Everything was trying to do that golden eye thing back then. So even Conker's Bad Fur Day, bringing it back to that, they had multiplayer too,
See,
and
I
we played that
remember
a few
playing
times.
that more though, because that was a little more
That had
fun.
a lot more modes. That's something I'll say aged
There's
well
that too.
for Bad Fur Day is the multiplayer has a lot of different types of ways to multiplay. It's not just shoot 'em up games.
It was teddy bears versus. I can't remember now.
Yeah, there was one where one person would be the gunner in the turrets, and the other would be the teddy bear, and you had to basically like make it to the other guy without getting shot. We did that
There
one a
was
lot.
the egg. Was there one with eggs?
No, that's Diddy Kong Racing. You're remembering
Diddy
you would
Kong
fly
Racing.
the eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the mature channels.
That
so
should
Diddy
come
Kong
too.
Racing.
Yeah, that's a rare
Yeah,
game.
it's coming.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, there's tons of rare titles that yeah, it's a fun speculation whenever one's gonna come up. It's like what's the next one going to be? The Nintendo should be more aggressive in this online service. It'll probably just roll over to the next system as well. Jet Force Gemini had really good reviews when it came out.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Had
it was very good for its time. I'm just saying, like, I don't think the collectathon aspect of it holds up well by today's standards because, like I said, you have to collect.
Out of place.
I'm going to look it up because I wouldn't be surprised if it's 300. You have to collect so many of those things. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, it's kind of just really out of place because it's a shooting game, and it's like, here, collect all this stuff.
Well, you're rescuing them. That's kind of like the story.
Oh,
but
okay.
But you have to rescue so many of them to get into the final area of the game. It's like you basically have to rescue all of them. Like you have to 100% the game without, it being an option.
if you look at their wiki page, there's only one negative review on the Jet Force Gemini wiki page, and it's from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Posted November 6, 1999. Poor controls shoot down Jet Force Gemini. 1.5 stars. I love
I've
that.
bought
Like,
a lot of games based off their reviews. So.
Yeah. But I just love whoever is like finding those things and putting them on a wiki. Like, shout out to you guys because I've often talked on here about how I wish we had more preservation of like old printed video game media. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's 15 non-linear worlds. I can't find the name of these things. If I could just find the name of them, I could Google how many of them are in the game or how many you need to collect, but I can't.
Whole heck of a lot.
What the heck? Each character has a special ability. I know. What am I collecting? Oh my God.
You ain't collected nothing.
Tribals. Okay. All right. How many tribals are in the game? I really want to know this. I'm not going to be able to know this.
Reach out to us if you know how many tribals are in Jet Force.
You told us podcast will cuts out this part, right?
Yeah, it'll cut out the parts where I'm searching, but I just want to know. I really want to. I don't want the locations. I just want you to give me a number. If I Google how many stars in Mario 64, it'll tell me 120 right away.
Kevin, there was a period of time where like we didn't know things and that was it, like, and then you just moved on. So we can pretend it's that time.
One of those times, yeah.
We can pretend it's like there's no Google.
Well, How Long to Beat says it takes about 16 hours. So there can't be as many as I'm complaining about, but good God.
Yeah, I always find those to be way under my playtime. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I find it to be a bit insulting. Like, oh yeah, it's an easy game.
Well, I guess we can move on to the spotlight, unless anyone has something else to talk about.
You're the host. I can go anything.
Tribal Guide.
Nintendo Therapy was derailed that day.
I just want a sentence that says there are blank amount of tribals in Jet Force Gemini, and I can't get it. It just says like here's how many are in area 1, here's how many are in area 2. I don't want to add them all up. I give up. I'm throwing in the towel. I don't know why I can't find this information. Some levels have 12, some have 15, some have 15's the highest number I've seen so far, but whatever. Okay, let's talk about the Spotlight game. I'm defeated. If you know, like Sean said, if you know how many tribals it takes to finish Jet Force Gemini, in my memory it's like 250, somewhere in the 200 to 300 range. Let us know. I'm probably way over remembering. Quest for Camelot.
Yes.
Quest for Camelot came out December 16th, 1998 worldwide. It does not have different release dates that I could find anyway.
Shocking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We try to keep it positive on this show, but I'm just like, why was this added to the Switch Online?
Because
it wasn't
one
even
person's
positively
really
received
happy.
like when it came out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was a game that people remember fondly. I could see if this was for a movie tie-in for something people love, but even the movie flopped. So why is this on?
The Jurassic Park games that got added today? Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like a lot of my research has been like scrolling through like Reddit posts this week on this game, and
Just to see.
it's just funny to see like there's like people on Reddit that'll be like, I don't know why, but this feels like a weird addition, and I'm like, you don't know why? Like you don't know why like this Zelda clone, which is based off a bad '90s movie, is a weird selection.
I actually played it. I know, Harrison, you said you just researched it. Sean, I don't know if you did. And it's so weird. You turn it on and it is dead silent until you get into the actual gameplay. There is no music on the title screen. I thought like my TV was on mute. I was like, what is going on? It plays a cutscene. It gives you a Star Wars crawl with like text telling you the story. You go through all this, a menu, a cutscene, a Star Wars crawl, silent. And then the level starts. I thought that was so strange and off-putting. I've never seen anything like it.
It's like the game doesn't even want you to play it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll admit, the first couple of steps, I was like, okay, it's got like Zelda type gameplay. This could be good. And it nosedove from there. It was like, I should have just listened to the silence and been like, nope, that they told me the quality right off the bat. They told me how much effort they were going to put in right there. And it's basically, I looked it up. It's 60 levels of basically each level is like the first. I only played the first level, which was a fetch quest. You had to collect a bunch of chickens for a guy. Apparently all 60 levels are fetch quests, carry quests, like carry this from here to here, or kill all the enemies in this area. That's the whole game.
I watched a review by CGR Undertow, and also like shout out to them, they're awesome. And he basically described this game as if you like Zelda but hate Zelda, this is the game for you. freaking weirdo, he said. Which is basically like from what because from what I watched in the Let's Play and everything, it sure seems like this is like they took Zelda but then took out like the exploration, like the magical parts of Zelda, and they just kept in all of the extra stuff.
It feels like the entire credits should be like, this is all the first game any of them worked on. Like, this is how you learn how to program a video game. This is the result you get.
So I only did the first level too, and I was just like, wow. It's like they took Adventure of Link and went, there's just too much in that. Just stay linear, minimal. That's what people want. And then it made me wonder, like,
Sean, you there?
Is there a part in the movie where they're getting chickens? Oh no, did we start that crap again? We might have.
And yeah, I don't have any of you all, have you all seen the movie? I haven't seen the movie.
I no, no, and I just learned that there's a sequel. there's a Quest for
No,
Camelot 2
I
apparently.
have not
So I
seen the
haven't seen
movie.
no.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and
direct to
and
video.
and like this is gonna fit into. I mean, we have had games on our list so far that would fit into like just like the 90s or whatever nostalgic category of like if you like I think if you've played this game growing up and it was just like a game that you remember, then it might be a game that when you see added to the online service, it's like, okay, cool, I can play this again. But I don't know how far, like, I don't see how like a new, someone completely new jumps into this game.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't think you do, and I would love this. I love to be able to see like the numbers on like how many people are actually playing these games, like whether it's like the hundreds, the thousands, or
So
whatever
Yeah, it's
whatever it
definitely
might
there
be.
to just pad the list. It's like, okay, we got another Game Boy game for you to pick from.
Yeah.
You know, one
if
you didn't
anyone's
know existed.
wondering about the movie, Jaleel White Urkel plays a
Yeah.
rooster.
Okay.
Oh,
Bronson
really?
Bronson Pinchot is a griffin. Pierce Brosnan is King Arthur.
Of
Eric Idle
course.
and Don Rickle are a two-headed dragon. Gary Oldman is a former knight plotting to steal Excalibur. And Carrie, Princess Bride Elvis, is one of the main characters. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And they couldn't make it work, huh? Yeah.
And
Well,
it's so weird because like this is definitely the type of game, there's a lot of them from this time period that were designed to just look good in screen grabs because
Yes.
like you put it on the back of the box or that's rarely like you didn't have YouTube back then, you didn't have game trailers, you just had the still images in magazines. So I feel like a lot of games would design themselves to be like, just make sure you look good as a still image. And this game does. Even the cutscenes too. They have that great like 8-bit art style
Yeah,
recreation
yeah.
of some of the scenes from the movies, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it definitely does a good job of tricking you into buying it. If you liked the movie, which people didn't, but if you liked the movie, I could see that working.
uh, well, I linked in the doc. I linked a very like just this month, very recent Ranker article titled "These video games were based on terrible movies, yet they somehow turned out fantastic." And spoiler, A Quest for Camelot is not on this list as a as a
Yeah,
great game based on a bad movie, but.
yeah, I looked at
Um,
that list. There's some games on there I've played. Like I've definitely played I mean GoldenEye everyone's played. But I
GoldenEye.
don't think GoldenEye's a bad movie. Um
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I was torn on that, but like, I mean,
Star
is there
Wars
any
Episode 1
other?
Racer debatable. People like to hate on Episode 1.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
But then the rest of
Yeah,
The
these,
game.
no, I haven't played. I'll read the whole list. Why not? We got
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
two.
Go
We've
ahead.
got Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from
That
Butcher
was a
Bay
good
is
game.
apparently a good
That was a
game.
really good game.
Enter the Matrix.
Didn't play
But
that.
the Matrix isn't a bad movie either. Um,
Nope.
Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the
That's a
movie.
that's a surprisingly good game. Like I'm not kidding. I
Alien
was
versus Predator
shocked.
2. Primal
Eh,
Hunt.
that was
Wanted.
not a movie yet.
Weapons of Fate.
Wanted had a video game. I didn't know that. So,
The Mummy Demastered.
which I totally forgot about.
Plan 9
I've
from
heard
Outer
that's a good
Space.
game. Plan 9 from Outer
Yeah,
Space.
also-
that's what this is. These are all apparently good games based on quote unquote bad movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
But and
Well,
X-Men
Plan
Origins
9.
Wolverine. Sorry, that's on here too.
Yeah,
That I haven't played, but
yeah,
I've always heard that was fun.
Plan 9 is it's like the textbook like Ed Wood film. Like it's like the movie. It's so bad. It's like it's awesome. So I'm not surprised that
It,
like that game
it's kind of hard to
is
knock that though, because that was his whole deal.
exactly. And Ed Wood, in my opinion, made way worse films than Plan
Oh,
9 from Outer Space.
absolutely.
That's just the one that became like cult
Ed
classic, I guess.
Ed Wood was no Coleman Francis. I'll just say that.
Oh God, no. He was. Ed Wood was Martin Scorsese in comparison to Coleman Francis. Like,
Not sure Skydivers has a story. It's just B-roll of skydivers.
I guess this is the Cuba part. The game worked with the Game Boy printer, so that's a feature.
There's some trivia for you. I think we can rank this. I'm going to rank it dead last. This is my least favorite game we've played so far. And that's ranking it below Spanky's Quest, below Kung Fu Heroes, which I couldn't figure out how to play, below Earthworm Jim, Ignition Factor, just below everything.
Do I rank this? I only watched it. I didn't play it. But
If you feel you've seen enough to form an opinion, then yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it not last. I'm gonna put it second to last for me.
Better than the Ignition Factor.
Better than Ignition Factor, because I'm just gonna hammer home, and that'll be like my thing for the podcast. Like I'll be the guy that doesn't like Ignition Factor. It'll be my ice climbers. It'll be my version of Ice Climbers.
I was a little kinder on it. I put it at 39. So even though I barely played it, I still put it over Game & Watch Gallery, Yoshi's Story, Baseball, Ice Climber, and Yoshi. And then since I missed last week, but Toe Jam and Earl's number 3. Like, that's a good game. So
For sure.
play that. It almost benefited me that I had a week to think about it because I'm like, I don't know where to put it. Top 10, top 5. Like, it's a great game. So,
but you're putting Castlevania above that.
I think it's just because of genre.
Yeah.
Because Toe Jam and Earl is such a unique thing, and I call it challenging, relaxing. Because I don't feel like the premise of the game is simple, but I don't feel like the game is easy.
That's a good point. Toe Jam and Earl's a game that, like, if I get a game over, I'm not frustrated. I'm like, well, I'll start over. Okay, let's find out what we're playing next time.
I'm afraid now to see what's next. So.
Okay, you don't have to be afraid, Sean. We are playing Ice Hockey for the NES, which is a cult classic. Some people swear by this game. I love this game. This is a good game.
That's a fun game. Yeah, I like that.
This good. I think it's going to rank similarly to baseball, but we'll see.
And it's a great contrast to...
Oh, yeah, it's an amazing contrast. Did you guys ever just do fat guys versus skinny guys in that game?
I'm sure I did all the combinations. There's not a lot of them.
Because I remember that was always the big thing with me and my cousin is I'm going to be all fat guys. Or I'm going to be all skinny guys.
This game has it's got like a following to this day. Like this is one of those games they like still run tournaments for and stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember like what I played, but I always wondered in hockey like why don't you just get like a big fat goalie, like a
sumo wrestler that takes up the whole goal.
Takes up the entire goal. Yeah. Or like, but like those are like stupid things you think about when you're watching sports. Like, oh, like I don't think you can have two goalies, or like, oh, like why don't you just keep like one basketball player like on
why don't
one
they
side
just
of the
dribble
floor
through the hoop
the entire time, like, but But yeah, big fat goalie. Okay, that'll be I'll definitely play that. I'll definitely play this game
That
this week.
that should be the
There's not gonna be a lot
remake.
of pressure.
It should be the ice hockey remake. Ice hockey, big fat goalie.
Well, that would be a good follow up to Super Blood Hockey, which
It would.
I still play, to this day. Um,
See
yeah.
that sports games aren't fun anymore, in my opinion. This will take me back to a time when I actually enjoyed them, even though I'm not big on sports.
Oh yeah.
Mutant League. Need more Mutant League.
Oh yeah, that would be nice on there.
We've always, my friends and I have always said there should have been an X-Men sports game at some point. That would have been fun.
That would have
Because
been cool.
there's always those comic books where the X-Men were playing baseball, so it's perfect. But you really could have done any sport, and it would have been really cool.
Yeah, Wolverine's always popping the balls though, and then like, come on, man! Like we only got one ball.
What sport would you like to see the X-Men play? Let us know right in the potty cast here, Nintendo Therapy Pod at gmail.com. Keep in mind, as always, we are Nintendo fans, not Nintendo experts. So if you want to correct us on anything, do that at the same place, nintendotherapypod at gmail.com, or on Twitter at Nintendo Therapy. Let us know what you think of Mario RPG. Let us know what you think of Quest for Camelot. Did you have it on VHS? Do you have a sealed copy of it on VHS? I'll give you $5 for it. Just email us at whatever our email address is, and nintendotherapypod at gmail.com. And we will see you all next week to talk about ice hockey and whatever we randomly draw that week. See you then.